and welcome back to another Dana with the Data quick take. So, honey, today we are talking about Don Lemon. Yes, we are going to ride Lemon Booty until he is put behind bars. So, let's get into it. Don Lemon got arrested, we all know this, for storming a church during a Sunday service, and his excuse is absolutely ridiculous. Instead of taking accountability for breaking the law, he's claiming he was targeted because, guess what? He's black.
You heard what some of the folks said in there, that this is, they shouldn't be there and, they shouldn't be uncomfortable and this is our house and whatever. That's what protesting is about, is to make people uncomfortable. You may not like it, but if they went into a church, any church. I don't know. It's weird because they kept saying it even when I told them that I'm not. And I think they were looking at me, and because the bulk of the protesters were black, maybe they thought because I'm black, then, and I kept saying, I'm not a protester. I'm here covering the protest. I'm not with them. And they were, they just, for some reason, could not understand. And I had to keep telling them that I'm not part of the group. I'm just here photographing, and I would say chronicling or whatever it is. And that's it, Jim. So why they couldn't figure that out, I don't know.
But here's the thing. This has nothing to do with race and everything to do with the fact that he knowingly joined a mob that disrupted a church service. Because what prosecutors are saying is going to blow your mind, and it completely destroys his entire narrative. Let me give you the full context of what went down.
DHS says 3 of those people were the ringleaders, accusing them of planning the riot. Now they are charged with conspiracy to deprive rights, a federal crime. One of them right here, William Kelly, was on camera saying this.
As you can see, all these pretend Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps.
Well, last month, agitators shouted at churchgoers there in the middle of services. Protesters targeted this church because one of the pastors works for ICE. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon, who was live streaming, is also going to be arraigned today. He said he was covering this as a journalist, but prosecutors say he knowingly joined the mob. Meanwhile, Operation Metro Surge here has ended in Minneapolis. Border Czar Tom Homan making that big announcement yesterday after what he called unprecedented support from local and state officials. He said he accomplished exactly what President Trump sent him here to do.
In Minneapolis to do 3 things. De-escalate, done. Take public safety threats off the street. Over 4,000 illegal aliens were arrested, done. Gain cooperation from state and local law enforcement.
And Mayor Fry posted on X, this operation has been catastrophic for our neighbors and businesses, and now it is time for a great comeback. We'll show the same commitment to our immigrant residents and endurance in this reopening, and I'm hopeful the whole country will stand with us as we will move forward. Holman says a complete drawdown is going to continue into next week. Meanwhile, those officers that were here on detail are going to be sent back to their home stations or other places in the country where they're needed. Dana.
Okay, Brooke Taylor in Minneapolis for us.
Why this church? Because one of the pastors works for ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. These protesters, including Don Lemon, disrupted an entire worship service. They shouted at churchgoers, created chaos, and turned a place of worship into a political battleground. Now, Don Lemon, William Kelly, and 3 others are being arraigned in court. They're not just facing trespassing charges, they're charged with conspiracy to deprive rights, a federal crime. Now here is the race card excuse. So how does Don Lemon respond to all of this? He goes on Jim Acosta's show and claims that people didn't believe he was a journalist because he's black.
You say in the video, I'm here as a journalist, I'm here covering this. That's what I'm doing. We play the video. You say it,
Not part of the group. I'm just here photographing. I'm a journalist.
I'm a journalist.
Yeah.
I'm here photographing.
Numerous times.
People not understand.
I don't know. It was weird because they kept saying it even when I told them that I'm not. And I think they were looking at me, and because the bulk of the protesters were black, maybe they thought because I'm black then. And I kept saying, I'm not a protester. I'm here covering the protest. I'm not with them. And they were, they just for some reason could not understand. And I had to keep telling them that I'm not part of the group. I'm just here photographing, and I would say chronicling or whatever it is. And that's it, Jim. So why they couldn't figure that out, I don't know.
First, Don Lemon was live streaming himself joining the protesters. He wasn't standing on the sidelines with a press badge and a camera crew. He was in the middle of the action, moving with the mob. Second, prosecutors have evidence that he knowingly joined the mob. This isn't about what he looked like, it's about what he did. Third, he keeps saying, I'm a journalist, I'm just covering this. But real journalists don't participate in events they're covering. They observe, they document, they don't become part of the story. And here's the kicker. When someone is actually doing journalism, it's pretty obvious. You have equipment, you have credentials, you maintain professional distance. But Don Lemon wants us to believe that the only reason people question his role was because of his skin color. That's not journalism, that's deflection. And this isn't the first time Don Lemon has pulled the race card to avoid accountability. Let me show you what I mean.
It's the same thing that when I see not all black Republicans, but I see a black MAGA person who is carrying Donald Trump's water and they know that he's lying. It is the shortest line to the front. Because if you're black and you're whatever, you're just in line with a bunch of other Democrats that are doing the same thing that you're doing. But if you become a black MAGA person, it's like, whoa, let's book this person, let's put him on television.
So you don't think you can be a sincere black MAGA person?
No, I just said, I don't think that, I just said, I think there can be sincere Republicans.
But you can't be a sincere black Republican?
I don't think that you can be a rational MAGA, be black and be a rational MAGA person. I think you can be black and be a Republican.
I think they would find that very insulting.
Well, I mean, the truth is often insulting.
Here he is telling Bill Maher that you can't be black and be a rational MAGA supporter. When Maher pushes back and says that's insulting, Lemon responds, the truth is often insulting. So basically, he's saying that any black person who disagrees with him politically is irrational. That's not the truth. That's arrogance. Then there's this debate with Sam Harris when Harris makes a point about affirmative action and college admissions, and Don Lemon completely loses it.
No one was more disadvantaged based purely on the superficial characteristics of skin color than white men for a very long time getting into high status. Now, I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. I'm not saying there are no disadvantages to black men.
You don't believe that, do you?
Oh, it's obviously
look
true.
at the numbers. The numbers don't bear that out. That's not true.
The numbers of those
I operate in a circle of a lot of white people who attend Ivy League schools. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the folks their kids are attending these schools have endowment. They give money to the schools. They put libraries in the schools. They are
legacy is also another corruption of the system. Yeah.
And I barely, if ever, see a black person among them. Rarely.
Okay. No.
If you look at the numbers are not there. Look at the representation of white men and black women in every type of business. Leaders of companies.
CEO. We have to be systematic. We have to be systematic, in how we talk about this, Don, because the facts are there for anyone to find. In terms of, I mean, just if you're going to ask yourself, like internships at the New York Times, who has gotten those internships, right? The first rung on the ladder in recent years. And you look at the percentages that go to white men
it's
versus
all white kids who have
not true. It's absolutely not true.
Sam, it is. I work in the media business.
Okay, well,
it is true.
Almost
every single person is someone who comes from a legacy or someone who can pick up the phone and.
Instead of engaging with the actual data or the argument, he dismisses it based on his personal experience in media. And here's another.
Donald Trump tweeted, I should go to jail for prison for 40 years. And then he called me, as you said, a sleazebag. Now, as far as I know, well, and not as far as I know that I have not cheated on every wife that I've had, because I haven't had any wives. I've only had one husband, not cheated. I have not slept with any or paid off any porn stars that I have slept with. I have not, and beyond that, another porn star. I have not cheated on someone when I had an infant child at home. I have not been convicted of 34 felony counts of anything. I have not been found liable in a civil court for sexual abuse or sexually assaulting anyone. And he has the nerve to call me a sleazebag.
Sounds pretty sleazy.
I mean, if you
look at kettle thing, I don't know. Yeah.
If you look at the definition of sleazebag, I think there might be a big picture of Donald Trump right next to it in the dictionary. I'm just saying.
He goes on this rant about Donald Trump listing all of Trump's scandals and then says, if you look at the definition of sleazebag, I think there might be a big picture of Donald Trump. Notice the pattern? Whenever Don Lemon is challenged or held accountable, he either plays the race card or deflects to Trump. Here's what really bothers me about all of this. Don Lemon broke the law. He participated in disrupting a church service. He was part of a coordinated effort to intimidate churchgoers and create chaos. These people were just trying to worship. They weren't at an ICE facility. They weren't at a government building. They were at a church on Sunday morning. And Don Lemon, along with these other agitators, decided that their political agenda was more important than these people's right to practice their faith in peace. That's not activism. That's harassment. That's not journalism. That's participation. But instead of saying, you know what? I made a mistake. I shouldn't have been there. I crossed the line. He plays the victim. He uses race as a shield to avoid taking responsibility for his actions. And that's the problem. When you constantly use race as an excuse, when you constantly deflect to Trump, when you never take accountability, you lose credibility. Look, I'm all for holding powerful institutions accountable. I'm all for peaceful protests. I'm all for journalism that challenges the status quo. But what Don Lemon did wasn't any of those things. He broke the law, he got caught, and now he's trying to make himself the victim by claiming it's about race. It's not about race. It's about accountability. And until people like Don Lemon learn to take responsibility for their actions, instead of constantly playing the victim, they're going to keep losing credibility. So guys, if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I break down stories like this just about all the time, cutting through the BS to get to the truth. So let me know what you guys think in the comment sections. Do you think Don Lemon has a point, or is it just another excuse? And I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Dana with the data. Dana with the data.